Hey everyone, it's Minty. Sketchbooks are for practicing, and they don't need to look good, but why not? I think it's fun making each page something special, and some of you wonder how I do it, so here's how. Tip number 1 is adding color to the background of a drawing or sketch. This one is the most basic tip, and most of you probably already do it. But if you don't, get to it. Adding squares or circles of color can help fill the page without effort and make your drawing stand out. Just make sure to choose a color that complements your drawing, and don't make it too bright, otherwise it's going to stand out more than the actual art. Remember to write down what you drew or why you drew it. I wrote this pretty quickly, but I often do a cute font, which I would definitely recommend doing more. As you can see, this drawing is actually very detailed, so I made the background extra simple because I wouldn't want the page to look cluttered with detail, and I want the girl to be the focal point. The next tip is for when you have more of a simple drawing, so you can add more detail to the background without distracting from anything. For this, I tend to use a white Posca pen or a white gel pen to add a pattern over the top of the coloured shape. I also use the white to make a thin or thick border around the character so that it separates from the background shape, and it also gives a sticker kind of look, which I really love. Most sketchbooks have white paper, so this should work, and the white pen will look like it's part of the paper, if that makes any sense. Then with this drawing, I wrote some more stuff again just so I remember what I actually drew. Here's how it looks. I especially like the way that the coloured shape is a little bit desaturated, so it's not distracting at all. This pink-haired girl drawing is a drawing I made yesterday, and it's made one of my favourite pages, inspiring this next tip, which is adding comic-like elements like speech bubbles. It helps to give the character a lot more personality, and it could be fun especially if you're drawing one of your OCs. But that drawing also inspires another tip, which is backgrounds. Yes, proper backgrounds. Don't leave, there's more to it. The reason a lot of us don't like adding backgrounds is because they're boring and take ages, but with this, you don't have to fill the page and it's pretty quick. First, make a sketch of the character's environment, or just go straight in with colour. It's already going to look good, but if you like it, you can add line art to it and finish it all off. You can make it a really small background just next to or behind the character, and this can really help with character design because you can figure out where your character lives, and most importantly, it's actually fun. Another mini tip is to add lighting to your characters. This doesn't necessarily make your page any better, but it does help the art itself, and I think it's important to mention because marker artists like me often forget about lighting, but it's actually not too hard to do on paper. As long as you find a good reference and a good shading color, it's just as easy as it probably is in digital art. I quickly want to explain the background drawing here because it might seem a bit weird, probably because it is, but anyway, basically in this character story, their world is like the modern world, but it's been mostly abandoned, and now it's kind of overrun by nature, hence the massive vine along the building, and a lot of the animals have grown in size and are a lot more dangerous, which should explain the giant worm, so yeah. My next tip is literally the same as 2 seconds ago, but more lighting. I guess you can tell I'm currently obsessed with adding lighting, but add it to your backgrounds as well as characters. As soon as I added this yellowish lighting to the background, it looked 10 times better. Then you can also add the white border, even when they have like this kind of background thingy. I don't know if that makes sense, but white borders, they are my faves. And don't be afraid to leave the background all sketchy. If you pressure yourself to make it perfect, you're probably going to end up giving up. Moving on, my next tip is color schemes. You can draw anything on a page, and if you like the color scheme, it's all going to look good. As you can see here, individually the sketches aren't too amazing, but altogether the page looks good because of the colors. This next tip is going to seem like a complete contradiction to that, but instead of doing a limited color scheme, you can do a color overload. Use literally every color of the rainbow and your page is going to look so cool. What I'm saying is go all out or stick to a limited color scheme, but don't do 2 different drawings that just have random colors and clash. Try doing multiple drawings or characters on one page. I don't always do this, but when I do, it just looks so much better because it fills the whole page. Sorry if my voice is kind of croaky sometimes, I have no idea why. My next tip is to use tape in your drawings. Get some washi tape if you have any or something like that, and use it to set boundaries of where you color. I'm going to peel this off at the end, and the drawing is going to look really neat. You can put the tape down in a square shape, which is going to look even more neat and organized, but I like to do random shapes. I just put down 4 pieces of tape, or 3 if I want to do a triangle, and I don't worry about it being perfect. It gives a cool comic look to it, so if you prefer that, then try my method. I think I'm actually going to make this page into a comic style page, so what I'll do is more of these tape drawings for each stage of the comic, and then I'll go back and add some speech bubbles like I mentioned earlier. For this drawing, I'm also going to be using some of the previous tips, one of them being lighting and also colour schemes. When when I do the whole page, I'm going to make sure it has a cohesive colour scheme, but I haven't gone on to that. So this is a drawing of one of my OCs, Olive, and this little comic strip thingy is going to be showing the beginning of her story. The one I'm drawing right now is her on her phone with the background being extremely dark. I used black because the only light is coming from her phone, so there's some more extreme lighting on her face, which I haven't really done before. This is because she was just chilling in her room on her phone when there was a power cut and the lights went out, so that also explains her facial expression. I tried to make her look a bit confused, but she kind of looks angry. I don't know. I tried a different face angle with this drawing, which I don't do often. She's facing down at her phone, but her eyes are looking up because she's confused why the power's gone out. When I finish this drawing and pull off the tape, I'll be using a white Posca pen just to clean up the edges because marker does bleed slightly, so it goes under the tape a little bit. Depending on what paper you have, mine barely bled, but I just wanted to clean it up anyway. You don't have to add Posca over the top, but I just end up doing that because I want the lines completely straight. Depending on what tape you use, it might end up tearing the paper a little bit, so be really careful when you pull it off because you don't want to ruin your drawing. Masking tape will probably work the best. My washi tape does tear sometimes, but when I pulled it off, I used my other hand to help the tape come off smoothly, and I did it really slowly, so luckily I didn't get any tears. Honestly, Olive looks a little bit scary in this drawing, and it just doesn't really look like her, but I blame the lighting and the angle. I think it's fine that she looks kind of scary because the lighting is the same as when you shine a torch beneath your face, you know, while telling scary stories, and it casts these creepy shadows, so it kind of makes sense that she doesn't look the prettiest here. Sadly, I didn't have time to draw the entire comic page in this video, but I will be finishing it in my own time, so if you want to see a video on that, what I might do is a video of some of my ongoing art projects, so that'll include this page and I'll finish it, as well as an oil pastel canvas that I'm working on. It could be a relaxing video, so if you do want to see the finished product of this as well as some of my other stuff, I could include it in a video like that, but I don't know yet, let me know. To make the lighting on this drawing even more obvious, I did some hatching with my line art pens in areas of shadow. My line art pens are the Bic coloured biros, by the way. I get asked that a lot, so just wanted to throw that out there, and I think I ordered the 12 pack, so yeah, and from Amazon. Anyway, the hatching wasn't too obvious, so I went in with a dark grey to colour the areas of shadow a bit more, and that definitely helped. Usually I wouldn't recommend doing shadows with grey. It's better to use a darker version of the colour you're using, but in this case it did actually work. Then to make it look brighter in areas of light, I used a white gel pen and drew with it where the light would be brightest, like on the chin and on the nose. I'm going to do the shoutouts now and also the shoutout emoji on screen because I want to save the end for the peeling of the tape, which is really satisfying. So here are the shoutouts and everything, but now it's time to peel the tape. I slowed it down a little bit because we just want to get that full satisfaction. I think it looks really cool, and yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!